Hi, boys and girls. It's me again. I kind of just wanted to add a little bit to something I had posted earlier about True Face, the four first chapters in particular of the book. We our little our little group at the inner court, we ordered some of the materials from True Face, and we got them in, I don't know, Thursday or Friday, and we used some of them today. Today we watched the DVD where John Lynch is speaking to who is it? The Navigators leadership team or whatever. We really enjoyed it. But during the discussion we had, of course, what we do is we just pause the DVD whenever we want to discuss something. And one of the things that came up or came to me was, you remember earlier, I don't know if you've watched my little post, but I talked about how difficult it was for me to see myself clearly in the first four chapters of the book True Face. I wasn't sure exactly where I fit in. I mean, am I really in the room of good intentions? Is that really what I'm doing? It's kind of hard for me to see myself that way. But what I did realize today, that even though I couldn't see myself clearly when it comes to, working on my sin so that I can eventually have an intimate relationship with God, I can see it much more clearly in another area. And in particular, I see it in myself in how in my expectations of others. And I mean, as an example, uh, how I react um, if my wife doesn't, get the floor clean or keep the dishes clean, and how frankly, when I have to jump in and do it, or when I do jump in and do it, typically in the past anyway, maybe even now, uh, I feel like I'm being taken advantage of because I get up early, I got to go to work. I only work 4 days a week, or actually I watch others work and criticize 4 days a week. But those days are very long days. It takes an hour and 20 minutes to get there. And then it's a 10-hour day and it takes an hour and 20 minutes to get back. And so there isn't a whole lot of time left for much of anything else. If I work out, that's about it. We hardly see each other. I, I feel bad about even going down to the basement to work out because I don't see my wife much during those 4 days. But then if I have to jump in and do something, like I clean the dishes or whatever, because she hasn't been feeling well that week, her allergies are bothering her or whatever, I tend to feel taken advantage of, and I struggle with, being angry about that. I have been. And so what I saw there really clearly is that I lay those expectations on my wife and on other people. I expect them to perform for my acceptance and my love. Now there, I can clearly see myself for some reason. And what I what I concluded was that if that's what I'm doing to other people, if I'm expecting them to perform so that they can, be intimate with me and have a trusting and loving relationship with me, then that's clearly just a reflection of how I'm behaving towards God. That I'm trying to, work on my sins and fix myself so that someday I'll have this intimate relationship with God. Well, at least I can see where I am or was or whatever. I think I'm kind of at that transition point. To be honest, I in the last few weeks, as I've been looking over some of the True Faith stuff and reading the book, I have noticed a significant difference in how I'm in my behavior. And it isn't as if I'm having to work on it a lot. I still had a couple breakdowns, but generally speaking, it's been much easier. It's this idea. I think John Lynch mentioned it. This idea of simply accepting the fact that even though I may see myself as a caterpillar, the reality is that I'm already a butterfly. It's in the DNA. So accepting that I'm a butterfly makes it a lot easier. Not only it sort of seems to defuse the sin or defuse the desire for it. Somehow it short circuits it, and I'm not sure exactly how it works. I'm sure if I get along further in the book here, as I get further along in the book, that these guys will have a more uh, rational explanation. They'll have little charts, where motives goes to values, goes to actions. I don't know if you've read that part. Motives, values, actions. They have these cute little diagrams in the book, very simple. But I'm sure there'll be more of those to explain why it is that I seem to be doing better without any effort. Why, while li- why life seems to be better. Why I don't seem to be struggling. And furthermore, it turns out that I'm having a lot easier time recognizing when I'm laying expectations on other people to perform to get, my approval. When I start to do it, it's like now I instantly recognize it and I say that, oh, that's silly. That's silly because God doesn't see me that way. And if on my worst day I am Christ in carry, I am Messiah, the anointed one, basically a ruling king in Narnia, as it were, then why on earth am I laying all these expectations on other people? I see it immediately. Instead of getting angry and then later on feeling bad about getting angry, I kind of see it up front. There's an ease to it that comes that I'm not really able to explain fully yet. But I did want to post it, even though earlier I wasn't able to see myself clearly in how I relate to God, I have been able to see very clearly how I relate to other people. So, John, Bill, Bruce, here's to you. Thank you very much, and of course Vern and Brian, and I appreciate it. And there'll be more to come. Bye.